everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all keeping well, having a great day. Today I've got a very special guest. This one I'm super excited for. I'm joined by Dan Lawless, and we will be speaking a bit about England going into the game against Netherlands. But first of all, Dan, how are you doing? How has your day been?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Enjoying a bit of a break from the season, from West Ham, all the craziness. So we tried to do this before and me come on your show, but it was just the games were so
Hectic,
just
yeah.
honestly piled on. It was crazy. So it's nice to just breathe a bit and relax.
Yeah, it's weird because I miss Arsenal a lot, but I kind of enjoy the break from it because it's not all good times. It is hard when your club as well goes through difficult times. So I'm just kind of enjoying the break. I miss Premier League football, but obviously England for me it's a different step when I'm watching, Saliba and Gabriel defensively amazing, and Saka. Honestly, it's been great to see him do well for England as well, but for me, I'm happy we've been getting the results. I don't feel like our performances have been great, to be honest. What have you made of England so far? The performances, is it gone how you thought it would go with England?
Yeah, I mean it's not too surprising with Southgate, although I don't know what it is something about this tournament. It's been especially boring to watch England play, and I
Yeah,
really get flashbacks of last season under Moyes. It's almost exactly the same, almost identical. A lot of passing sideways and backwards, really slow build up, and it's just like and listen, credit to Moyes for the job he done and all of that, but the football was hard to watch, and I thought I was free of that. And summer, having a good summer, Euros, international tournament coming. Oh no, we get to go through it all again. So yeah,
yeah.
I can't say I've enjoyed it, except the penalties. The penalties were great.
Yeah, I think we have been really amazing to watch with the penalties. I've, what, it was so weird watching Saka because I was praying he would score and he did, and it's really nice to see us do so well in the penalties. But like you said, I kind of, in a way, expected it. We have been quite boring, like you said, a bit with how we've been playing. But you know what? I think to get where we are now, I think we've had to do that. I mean, if we would have gone out any earlier, I would have been really embarrassed. It would have been so bad. I mean, I really want us to do it, but with Southgate, we're going to a semi-final. Do you feel like he gets the credit he deserves? It's quite weird to ask that because for me personally, I think even if we win the tournament, I would like to move Southgate on. I would like to see a new manager come in, but he's getting to us to these semi-finals, hopefully to a final. Do you think he gets that credit he deserves in that sense?
Obviously, yes, it's a tough one for me because I was thinking about this. Like, if England win it, you say fair play. He deserves his knighthood that he got when we got to the semi-final of the World Cup all those years ago,
Yeah,
right? And he has to get some credit. He's got the team. There's a togetherness in the team. Um, there's some youngsters he started to play. So there's positives to
mm,
Southgate. However, he has, I think, all around one of the best squads that we've had in a long time. And I think a lot of managers out there would have similar results.
yeah,
But yeah, I think that overall, man management and coaching he has with the players, I think is a positive. But
yeah.
yeah, honestly, whatever happens, even if England win the whole thing, you say thank you, Southgate. Again, this sounds like what I was saying before the Conference League, where I was saying, listen, if we win that, Moyes, thank you, go in another direction. This is how I feel with Southgate. Even if England win it, amazing achievement.
Yeah.
Good luck, new manager, take over and get a chance with these players.
Yeah, I feel like even if we win it, I don't really care how we win it personally. I think, winning it is so important, especially for Southgate. But I think a lot of us do think that if he does win it, we should move him on. And I do think it is time for a change. He has been here for a while. I think he's done really well, especially the last Euros. I think that was just an unfortunate situation with the penalties, which does you know, with penalties, you can never predict these things. But I think for me, I think, especially with the football we're playing, like I like to see, us play a bit better with the squad we have, considering, we've got a great team. And I did want to ask you a bit about Harry Kane because for me, I'm like 50-50 because a lot of fans think maybe he should be dropped. It's quite weird because we know how incredible he is, and he can have those moments where he can just finish those chances, and that's us winning us the game. Like the game the other day, he did that header and that won us the game. But I do feel as though he's playing quite deep, and I don't think he's doing as much as he should be doing. Like if I look how he's done so far. I would say I feel a bit underwhelmed a bit. I expected a bit more of him throughout the tournament. But for our next game, would you want to keep him in the lineup? Would you change it? Give Ivan Tony Watkins a chance? What are your thoughts on that?
See, it's a big call at this stage to drop your
Yeah.
captain, right? But this is why we should have been Southgate should have been doing this early on in the tournament. Is looking at Kane and going, okay, Kane, you're sitting at the next game. We're going to get Tony, we're going to get Watkins, and starting to see what they can do. But yeah, I personally would drop him unless Southgate has a solution
Mhm.
ready to go for how Kane has been playing or how he's been utilized. Then he has to be dropped. If it's going to be the same old, and it's like we might as well drop him because, like you said, just playing way too deep. I said this on Potts' channel the
Mm.
other day. At times he was like looked like he was playing left back. It's crazy, and people talk about how he occupies defenders. You can't occupy defenders if you're never in the box or
Yeah.
you're in the field and everyone else is there. He's just not where he needs to be. So if that's going to continue, what is the point? Get a more
Mhm.
sort of younger, energetic striker on that will sort of make runs and get in the box and be present. So
Yeah.
I, based on what I've seen, I would drop him. Let's see if he's got a solution. But if he plays and it's still the same, he has to have the balls to sub him off and not wait for oh, it looks like he's injured, so we can
Yeah.
he's fallen over into the stands. We can take him off now.
Yeah, like I agree. I think I think if Southgate would have dropped him already, he would have done that by now. I think as well with Kane obviously having an injury throughout at the end of the season, coming into the tournament, I think that's probably affected him too. The thing is, I don't mind Kane playing if we take him off around the 60th minute if he's not doing much. But I've noticed with Southgate, he would only change something like, when they score or when we're really struggling. And I think, but you should make a change before it's too late. So yeah, I think with Kane, he's a great striker. I'm hoping we'll see more goals. But I think, like you said, he does play quite deep. He's not really where he should be. But I think Ivan Tony as well. I really do like him. I know when he came on, he really made that impact, and it'd be good to see a bit more of him. I mean, Anthony Gordon's another one. I mean, the lineup at the moment, I think with Foden, he's obviously not really been good. I think the position which Southgate's playing him is obviously not helping. But with Foden, have you been surprised with how he's been? I know at Man City, he had an incredible season with Pep, and though Pep Southgate, it's a bit different. But I've expected a bit more of Foden, to be honest.
Yeah, it has been a disappointing one because I did sort of, especially after the season he's had and past two seasons even.
Yeah,
I had high hopes for him as being one of the players of the tournament, but it's just not worked out at all, and it's a disappointment. And
yeah,
yeah, it could be the way he's utilized. You see him for Pep, it's a different player, but you can't just keep playing him on reputation alone. If he doesn't suit the system that
mm,
you're playing, he's not going to shine and flourish. You have to drop him. You have to be big enough. Now this is a semi-final.
yeah,
I think this is it for Southgate. He has to win to cement his legacy and to, pay off all these years that he's been given. He has to win. So now, sentiment aside, if you drop Harry Kane, you drop Harry Kane. If you have to drop Foden, drop Foden. Like you said, Gordon.
yeah.
It's such a shame that with all those group games and the games before, he hasn't been given any minutes. Has he even come on as a sub? Maybe like one. for
Yeah,
teammates? Or
I think he must have come on for like 10, 15 minutes, but I just don't remember seeing much of him. I think it's been quite disappointing the lack of game time he's actually got because I think he would really change the game when he needs to. So Anthony Gordon's someone that I would definitely want to see more of I mean Palmer as well. We've seen him get a bit more game time, which I quite like because I think Palmer maybe he's not a starter, but him coming on would really help. So yeah, the semi-final is going to be good. Before we do speak about that, I just wanted to read out this question that NS Sports TV has for you. Would you rather West Ham play bad football and win stuff, or play good football and win nothing?
See, this question comes up a lot, right? And
Yeah,
you know, you can relate it to England as
yeah,
well, right? You know, it's not mutually exclusive. It's not like playing good football results in you winning nothing. You know, if I go back to Europa Conference League, where we did win a trophy in that tournament, we played, you know, better football than we were playing in the league. You know,
mm,
we were a little bit more dominant on the ball because we could be.
yeah,
So it's not like, all right, if you want to win stuff, you have to play crap football.
yeah. Can
And,
be
you
both.
know,
Yeah,
that's it. If you play good football, you can't win. It shouldn't be mutually exclusive. And when it comes to England, England hasn't won anything. So it's not like, oh, you want to play good football, but do you want to win? England hasn't won yet. So until England win, then you can't say that. So, like, that's my
yeah.
answer.
I think it's hard to say. I mean, with England because there's been moments where we've done good stuff, but I think with how we're playing, which I'll probably expect us to play like this against Netherlands, I think if we win playing like this, I won't complain because we need to win this trophy. I think with Southgate, I think for him, I think he's got to win it, especially with everything he's done for England. I think he's got to, if he does leave, I think it would be good for him to leave on that note. But yeah, I think this tournament, I think we've not been playing the best. To be honest, I will take how we've gone through it so far. Um, but regarding the Netherlands game, how do you feel about playing them? Because for me, when we got Switzerland, I didn't think we would win, if I'm being honest, because I think Switzerland kind of seem well organised. They're very good. I know Xhaka as well has been doing great, and we won that. And I think with the Netherlands game, I think I kind of see it being like a similar game, extra time, going to penalties. But yeah, how do you feel about the game? What's your thoughts going into the game?
Yeah, I think it will be another one of them
Yeah,
close, tight games. They seem quite good on the counter attack, but we probably won't give them much opportunities to play on the counter attack because we're just going to slowly pass it around the back and the midfield, and
yeah,
play deep. So yeah, and when it comes to set pieces, I think we've been pretty good at defending set pieces. So I can see another one of them ones that England haven't for the
mm,
attacking talent that England have. They've been scoring enough goals, so that's the worry.
yeah,
So it's like a goal, and then that's it. And I feel like for this game, if we want to see England come out and play and really flex their muscles, have to go a goal down. Have to Netherlands has to score first. Otherwise, it's going to be a very nervous, cautious game um, throughout the whole thing, and we could end up seeing another extra time and penalties. I'm confident with the penalties now. Penalties always been England's
yeah,
weakness. With some excellent penalties. So yeah, I'm cool, but it would be nice to just go out and just have a convincing win going into that final.
yeah,
This is probably the easiest, if not one of the easiest routes to the final England
yeah,
have had. And I think we need to look at that. A lot of competitions Southgate's been in, we've had a lot of easy routes to finals and semi-finals, like the draws and that. So this one,
yeah,
he has to at least get to the final. Not to keep. I don't think if you don't win the whole thing, he shouldn't be kept on anyway. And if he does win
but
it, he's
yeah,
about.
finals the minimum really, yeah.
Yeah, you've got to with this line, and then it's going to be France or Spain, which is a tough game. But that it should be a game then where we see him go all out. But get past
Yeah,
Netherlands. I was more worried about Turkey, to be honest. Like if we drew them.
yeah, we got
So
them, yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting one.
Do you know what? It's weird because France, for me, I watched them. I think it was the Portugal game, and They were amazing at penalties, and I'm thinking if it goes down to penalties in the final between us and France, I think it would be a tough one to call with that because they're so good at penalties.
It has the possibility to be the most boring
Final,
final in the
yeah.
history of football if it is England and France.
Yeah, I've watched bits of France and, they've not been t too great. I mean, we've not been too great, but they've been getting results. I mean, the final, yeah, it would be. Do you know what? With how we played throughout the tournament, I always said we've got to get to that final. Obviously, if we don't win it, I'm with you. I think he should go, but I think that's the least we can do. But yeah, I think for me, I want to ask you about the lineup because it has taken Southgate a bit of time to adjust it a little bit, and we have seen a few changes in that midfield, which I think's been good. Foden, obviously, he might play, but I'm honestly not too fussed who plays at the moment. I just always say if things aren't working out, you've got to change it before it's too late. Obviously, Saka's been doing great as well. We've mentioned Kane, he's not been too good. Bellingham, hasn't been amazing, but he's been scoring those goals, and I think he's an important player. But yeah, Trent is another one. Defensively, would you play him? Like, just talk to me about what kind of lineup you would see. I know Southgate doesn't like to change too much, but if you were Southgate, what sort of lineup would you put out for this game?
Yeah, it's a weird one because, like you said, that he doesn't like to change too much. So the last game, he decided to change to a back five, back three,
That was
however,
mad, yeah.
and that was the time. And I'm not a fan of that, but I
Mm,
can't see him just changing to a back four. Like I would like to see that, and like you said, I would like to see Trent start at right back. I think Kyle Walker was really good in the earlier
mm.
portion of the game, but maybe it's catching up with him. We got to see his pace earlier on, and I think
Yeah, he started to
Trent
struggle, yeah.
scoring. Yeah, exactly, and I think Trent scoring that winning penalty will give him a boost, give him some confidence. So yeah, I would love to see Trent play. Left back is such a tricky one. Saying this the other day because I just don't think the options are there. I don't think Luke Shaw
No,
has got it
yeah,
in him to start. I think Trippier's not that good anymore, but he's the option unless you do what Ian Wright suggests and play Saka left back. Ooh, don't say
mm,
that. But so yeah, I guess you have to stick with Trippier. Um, and then it's either Konsa or Gahey and John
yeah.
Stones. I don't know who. Maybe Konsa played well, so stick with Konsa.
Yeah, do you know what, Saka? It's quite weird because I don't really mind particularly where he plays because I think whatever he's just happy to be playing, especially for England, and I think he always puts that hard work in. So I mean I think with playing him at left back, I mean it's not the worst choice. It's just not a choice that we'd probably want to pick. But I think like because we've gotten so far now, you wouldn't really change too much. At this stage as well. I mean, we sort of know how we're going to play throughout the tournament with how we've played so far. So yeah, I mean, I quite like Trent. I mean, defensively, we've not done too great. I think Kyle Walker's been an interesting one for me. I think, like you said, he kind of started off good, and he's just sort of he started to really struggle. But I think we are fighting back. We found ways to score. We do leave it to the last minute a bit, but I wanted to ask you a bit about Saka actually because for me, I thought he started off the tournament good. He kind of slowed down a little bit. We didn't see him scoring as much or getting the assists, and I felt as though a lot of the players were like that anyway. And in the last game, we saw Saka obviously score that great goal, and I think as well with the penalties, I felt really when he was taking it, I saw it two ways. I was thinking, oh no, this could end bad, but then I also thought the fact he missed it, went through all of that racial abuse and all of that, and he's been able to do this on the biggest stage. Yeah, I felt really proud of him, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on Saka, how you think he's done throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I think overall, he's been one of the players of the tournament for England. Like I said, he
Yeah,
had that quiet period, but it's hard to really single out any player as apart from um, like I said, Kane obviously in the last game, but again, that could be the system. But it's hard to really
yeah,
single out players when everyone's just off it. So yeah, he's been excellent, and yeah, last game especially, and that goal he scored, that's what I want to see more of. Just
Yeah,
taking shots, not try
taking
and just pass,
chances.
pass, pass, pass. Have a go. You know, we saw Rice try and do it. You know, just have a shot, test the goalkeeper, at least win a corner. That's my problem. Is always England's become very predictable, and you just need to change it up. You know, get a sighted goal,
Mm,
boom, get a shot. Even if it gets saved, maybe it's going to deflect, go someone else. They can follow it in.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, that sort of stuff. So I'm hoping we see him do more of that. And yeah, his confidence seems to have grown throughout the tournament, and yeah, he's becoming the main man. So hopefully,
Mm,
yeah, the next game he can step up and just keep doing. And the thing is, he takes players on, you know, which we're missing massively down that left hand side. You know, we need more
yeah.
of that beating
Yeah,
the player.
yeah. He's not afraid to, give it a go. I mean, I think that goal he scored as well was absolutely amazing. But we need to see more of that. I think from the team, especially. I mean, if we do get to the final, we get France. I think it could be could be boring, but we've got to really be clinical in those type of moments. And I think we've been passing a bit too much for me. We've got to just give it a chance and give it a go. Like I'd rather a player score, even if or try to score, even if it's a bad shot. At least they're giving it a go, and I think we definitely need to see more of that. And I wanted to ask you a bit about a player. I wanted to ask you about Declan Rice because for me, it's quite strange because when I watch him at Arsenal, he's obviously been different. I mean, I think Arsenal we do pretty much play better football than England at the moment. Rice for me, I think obviously he actually has hit the crossbar a few times. He's been unlucky in there, but I wanted to get your thoughts on how he's been throughout the tournament because I think there's been games where he's not been too good, but then like we've said, a lot of our players haven't been too good either. I mean, um, I, I kind of would have expected him a bit more to score a bit, because we've seen that when he was at West Ham, when he's at Arsenal, um. But I know in that midfield, since Mainoo's come in, it's working a bit better. But yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the midfield, Rice, what you've kind of made of him throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I think it's been like just a tale of two players, really. Like defensively,
Yeah.
he's been very solid, very good. He's
Mm,
doing what he's breaking up play, putting in tackles, in the ball back. Offensively, like I said, apart from a couple
yeah.
of shots here and there, he's been pretty invisible. He's been
Mm,
pretty like non-impact because he gets the ball and he'll slow the game down and he'll pass it sideways or pass it backwards. He's not really making any
mm,
sort of forward passes
yeah.
and really driving with the ball, which we know he can do. He can drive if there's space, but this is the problem: is when you get the ball and you stop and you wait, players get to get back, get their shape, and limit your space. And that's the problem. Even at West Ham under Moyes, which play a
Mm,
more defensive style, you'd see him progress forward with the ball more. You would see him
yeah.
try to do things and make the more. He has been so defensive, so slow in
Yeah.
terms of progressing the ball. He is basically just like another centre back just in midfield. That's what he's
Yeah.
played, which is disappointing. We
Yeah.
need him.
Yeah, it's so different to Arsenal because yeah, he defensively he's put a shift in for Arsenal, but you do see him making those forward passes, and he can be quite an attacking player at times, and yeah, apart from like you said, a few good shots he's had, that he's obviously not been on target. Like I feel like yeah, he has been a bit, you know, like we know he's there on the pitch, but I kind of yeah, I want to see a bit more of him in midfield. But I think it's probably down to how Southgate plays. I mean, we do play quite defensive, quite safe football, which I'm not really someone that kind of likes that. I'd rather give it a go, and it might not work out, but at least we've tried. But I think that probably is down to Southgate. And we've got a question here from Wiki Cookie. Good to see you in the chat. Hi Niall as well. How much do you reckon it's down to Southgate? I mean, it's a good question because I'm pretty sure Foden came out a little while ago and said, as players, we need to take that, criticism ourselves. It's not all on Southgate. For me, it feels like the players, really respect Southgate as well. But as fans, we're watching what we're seeing, and it does feel like a lot of it is down to Southgate. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, there has to be a degree of it, like you said,
Mm.
because we're seeing certain things. We're seeing certain things for that players are doing for their clubs they're not doing
Yeah,
in this England setup. Then it has to come back to the manager. Sometimes players have to take responsibility, like at later stages of the game, and go, okay, it's not progressing. Let me just
yeah,
receive the ball and move. Like if you're receiving the ball and looking round, and you're not looking for the quick pass, that's on you. You know, at the end
yeah,
of the day, if
exactly.
your vision's not there, and I'm seeing players just standing there. So Rice will get the ball. No one's running into space to be that
Yeah,
option pass. People are just standing there. So he's like, oh, what's the best option? Because right now all the options aren't very good. So I think it's 50 or 60-40, you know, to
yeah.
Southgate in the players have to take some responsibility in the game, like without a doubt.
Yeah, I think it's hard to call. I think a lot of Southgate obviously will set the team up and he'll pick the lineup, which I think he's responsible for. But if you're a player that's missing them chances or you're not doing things that you could be doing, it is down to you because Rice, yeah, has been playing quite defensive, but if he wanted to, he could, help play a bit more attacking and help with those passes. But if players aren't running for them passes, it's not great. And like I'm pretty sure last game Saka was whipping in really good crosses. There was no one in the box to get there. So I think it's about the team, playing how they should be playing, especially Kane. You want to see him in the box more, take those chances because it would make it easier if it didn't go to extra time. But I just really feel like it's going to go to extra time and penalties again. Lost count of how many times Kane is in holding midfield position, honestly. Like, he doesn't feel like a striker with how he's playing. Yeah, he needs to get in the box more, but I do agree with what we've said before that Southgate would have dropped them by now if he felt like, he wanted to, and with how he's been playing, I just don't think he's going to be dropped. But I've always said he's a good. I think you look at if you think it's going to go to penalties, Southgate would probably want to keep players on that will be good at taking their penalties. So that could be another reason why maybe Kane might be on a bit longer than we thought. Foden as well, because you've got to keep the good penalty takers on. You have to keep them on the pitch. But yeah, I think the game coming up, I think we've got to win it. I mean, I feel optimistic about how it's going to go. Like we said, I just feel it's going to be the same extra time, penalties. I mean, if we went out, I'm sure we stand on the same that Southgate should go. But do you think he would? Do you think he would actually go if we got knocked out this semi-finals, or do you feel like he would just stay and see what happens with his future?
There hasn't seemed to be any real pressure on him. I mean, I feel like he wouldn't choose to
Yeah,
leave because what I don't think he's got much of a future in league
yeah,
management. I can't see.
yeah.
I
I
know he
couldn't
was linked to
imagine
the
him.
Man
Yeah.
United. Yeah, he was linked to the Man United job. I don't
Oh,
know how
I would love
serious that.
that.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be brilliant if he got the Man United job. I would love to see it. I don't know. So I don't think like it's in his best interest to leave. But the FA, like, I don't see much pressure on him. Like we've seen
Yeah,
it tournaments and failures, and I think they're. I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed. I think they're just
yeah,
content. It's like cool. They'll say another semi-final, great, box ticked, and
yeah.
the players are all loving him and all happy to play for him. I think that's it. And you get complacent and you don't win. That's the problem. You need to have standards.
That's the thing because I feel like it is time for him to move on, but us thinking that won't really happen. It's up to if he wanted to go. I mean, I think because the players respect him so much, it'd be hard for him to leave. I've always said I don't mind him still being part of England, whether that's being the assistant or whatever role. I just feel like manager situation. I think it's a time for a change. I mean, like a question got asked before about playing bad but winning stuff. I want to see us play good football and winning stuff. I think we are able to do that with the players we have. We've got an incredible squad, probably one of the best we've had in a while. I mean, look at the squad we had in the last Euros to now. I think our squad's so much. better. I think we're so lucky to have that. I mean, someone said Kane's lost that yard of pace because of the German league. It's so slow compared to the Premier League. Plus, the level of service in the England team isn't there. Do
Well,
you
you're not going
think?
to get the service if you're not there. This
I
is
know
the, and
he's not in the box.
if you've lost the pace, don't
Yeah.
be so deep that when we get the ball, you're going to have to do a 500-yard dash to get into the box when you haven't got the legs. Just stay up there.
I
Stay
don't
up
I
there.
don't get why he's not in the
Easy.
position he needs to be in because we've mentioned our midfielders are playing defensively, so we just need to worry about that. He needs to stay in the box and where he should be. I don't think it's necessarily to do with the fact he's been in the German league. I think I look at the team now and I just think maybe he just doesn't fit what we're doing, and maybe he's just outgrown what we're trying to do. I mean, I look at someone like Ivan Toney and I thought I think if he started, we would be playing a lot more, energetic, a bit more exciting. But yeah, I think with Kane, I would like him to win some for his career. He's not won anything yet, and it's a bit sad. So I hope he can win this for Kane as well, even though he played for Spurs. But he missed out in the German league to win, and the league there. It's a shame. But yeah, I do worry about Kane. I just think is he really fitting in what we're trying to do? But he doesn't help himself either. He's not in the box. He's really not helping
Yeah.
himself.
This is
Uh,
the thing. Is Southgate asking him, like, we need you to get stuck into the defensive work and assist. Why he would ask that, I don't know. Come and put some tackles in when they've got the ball rather than just being an outlet. So when we get the ball, and that's another problem because he's not
yeah,
there. We win the ball back. The counter attack's not on. There's no one to counter attack. And that's a big issue. So yeah,
yeah.
Kane, just stay up there, man. Just stay up there, be as in and around the box, do what you do. That's what I want
Yeah,
to see.
absolutely. Big up, Yusuf just came across the channel. Big up to yourself as well. Most likely the first time this tournament, the opposition will take the game to us and will be quite open. Um, He's getting North America World Cup 2026, I'm sure of it. I'm sure Kane will win something. A good question here. Watkins or Tony if Kane gets dropped? I think personally for me I'd probably play Tony just because we've seen a bit of him throughout the tournament and I feel like if we played Watkins, I don't even know if Watkins has even played, has he? I don't think we've seen anything of him.
Maybe group stages. I feel like he did play or get like come off the bench on a group stage game. Yeah, he didn't. Didn't he score a goal? He did score a goal,
Yeah,
I
he might
think.
have. It feels like ages since he's actually had any
Yeah,
minutes.
he didn't play for long. I think he come off the bench as part of a triple substitution and scored, and then I don't think we see him again. So yeah, like I said, we've seen.
Yeah, someone said he came as a sub first Denmark. Yeah. God, it's been a while. I don't remember. I mean, he's not really played recently, but I think you'd rather play Tony probably just because we've actually seen a bit of him, which has been good. Yeah, good one here. Big up you. Hi all. Kane needs to play out of his skin tomorrow. None of strolling around, honestly. I don't think we're going to see anything different from what we've been seeing. I feel like I wish some of these players would just tell him to stay where he needs to be staying and not,
Mm.
defending as much. It's a bit frustrating because there's kind of no point in him playing if he's not doing anything. But I know he can have those moments where he scores those goals, which we need him for. It's a really sticky one. Big up Joseph. Mainu and Guay have been two of the better ones. Plus, I think Saka had the best game in a while against Switzerland. Yeah, I think Saka's been really amazing. I think Mainu in midfield has I've really liked him. I think a lot of us really love what he brings, but I think with the lineup, I reckon they're going to stay how it is now. I don't think we'll change anything. But defensively, I think I like the players that we've got. I mean, what have you made of Trippier throughout this tournament? Because I think he's been okay. I wouldn't say I've been amazed by him, but I would just think he's sort of done what he's had to do. At times he could do a bit better. I mean, Trent, we've said, would be good to see. For me personally, would like to see a bit more of him. But yeah, what have you made of Trippier so far?
Yeah, I think it's and it's not to say he's been like absolutely terrible, but I think
Yeah,
it's
it's
one of
not.
weakest areas on the pitch is at left back, has been where he's playing. And I
Mm.
don't think he's made as much of an impact going forward to the attack, as I would have
Yeah,
liked to have seen. Um, so yeah, it's the fact that he's the best England's got to play there is a concern. So we really need to get some young, talented left backs coming through in the league for the
yeah.
future of it. But yeah, if it was that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't see why it was. I don't see it was so crazy when Ian Wright said I play Saka at left back, just
Yeah,
because
I didn't think I agree, like, it wasn't a crazy thing to say.
it's just it would upgrade in terms of attacking options at left back, and he's not going to be well. I mean, this is Southgate, but I don't think he would play as a left back that just sits back and defend. He would be a very much an attacking left back that overlaps and does a lot what he does on the right, but from left back. Um, but it would be a massive upgrade in terms of that position. And then if you played Cole Palmer on the right, it wouldn't really be much of a downgrade on the right wing. So it would the team as a whole would be elevated. So it would be nice, but yeah, at the moment I can just see him still playing at left back. I don't think he's going to get dropped.
Yeah, I think that's a position that's not, you know, a particularly a strength of ours. But I think like we said, I think he's been okay. I think he's sort of done what he's had to do. But I think defensively, I think we've been okay. I mean, I know when we've conceded, we've sort of switched off at times. But I've been quite impressed with Pickford, to be honest. I mean, I know for Everton, he's different when he plays for England. He's actually quite good. Yeah, I think he's been quite underrated. I mean, I know a lot of fans have gave him more credit, but I think as well for the penalties, he did really well to make that save. But yeah, what have you made of Pickford? I know as well for the future. I've always said I would love Ramsdale to take his place one day if Ramsdale ever, got game time, played for a different team, and I could see him getting back there. But yeah, just talk to me about Pickford, what you've made of him so far.
Yeah, listen, I think Pickford, hasn't really put much of a foot wrong for England. I think he's been
Yeah,
solid for England. So yeah, for him to be the number one makes sense. It's just crazy, he's been spent most of his career battling relegation in the
I know.
league.
Yeah,
It's like he does sort of deserve that big move now, and at least sort of be
yeah,
playing for a club, maybe a club that's challenging for European places and playing higher up the table.
yeah,
And that's why I think he probably doesn't get the credit he deserves, and he's
yeah,
looked upon the way he is because he's playing for Everton, and because Everton have been so crap, he takes some of that blame, even though he's been one of their better players. He just
yeah,
faces a lot of shots. He pulls off some really game-changing saves for Everton, and he does the same for England. Like you said, penalties, he was excellent. So yeah, happy with him as number one. Like I said, the other options aren't that
mm,
great in terms of, like I said, Ramsdale hasn't played hardly
yeah,
anything. He would have much more of a shout, if at least he got to play, European games and cup games for Arsenal. So we'll see if Ramsdale does move on in the summer and he does start week in, week out. If he's going to then, get an
yeah.
opportunity for England, he can prove himself and fight for that shirt.
Yeah, I think with Ramsdale, I definitely think he wouldn't be ready right now to play. I mean, when he's played for Arsenal, with the odd game last season, he just seems like he's lacking confidence a bit, and he just doesn't. Yeah, I think when he plays for a team, he'll be up there, and maybe one day, take Pickford's place. But I think Pickford, like you said, I do think he's done amazing to keep Everton up, and he's done well for them, but I do think he could do better than Everton. I think maybe that's why people might not take him as seriously or give him that credit because he could play for, like you said, a team that's getting Europe or a team at that level. So yeah, it's been really good to see him do well. Yusuf has said, I feel like Tony would be better as an impact sub as an opposed to a starter. Yeah, it's hard because Tony, I mean, I don't know how he would be throughout the whole game if he did play. I think as a sub, we know that he's going to bring us the energy, goals, hopefully, assists. I mean, he did assist Kane's goal. Do you feel like Tony's better being brought off the bench, or would you start him for a game?
I mean, he can't be worse than Kane has been as a
Yeah.
starter. Like, if you start Tony. He can't. Surely he can't do less. He can't make less of an impact than Kane if he
Yeah.
starts. Either he himself is better as an impact sub than he would be as a starter. In my opinion, he would still be better than Kane. So start him. You know, we've
Yeah,
seen Kane now.
yeah, you can't go wrong with that. With what we've seen from Kane, I don't think it's going to be any worse. Big up Jopper. I've got a question here for you. Any of West Ham fan TV going to the States for pre-season?
Boy, you know, if the club would like to pay for us to go to the States for pre-season, we'll be there. But yeah, I can't see it. I don't know if one of the other lads has secretly booked an holiday around that time, but yeah, that's not a cheap trip, that's for sure. We
Yeah.
ain't got Robbie money. Do you know what I mean? We ain't
I
ain't
know, yeah, you've not got millions in the bank. Yeah, it's hard, really. I mean, it's nice to see the pre-season games, but you must be really rich to go to them. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it's exciting. I want to actually ask you, how are you feeling going to the new season with West Ham? I mean, I, you know, I think for you guys, I think it's you got a big season ahead of you. Hopefully, you can do big things. But yeah, how do you sort of feel about it, and what do you want to achieve for the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting because it's the unknown. Exciting and scary is what I always say.
Yeah,
The unknown, something new. You know, it's why I look at certain Chelsea fans where I know that get so hyped and like, oh yeah, we got in, we're gonna have a new manager, it's gonna be brilliant, we're gonna challenge you for top four. I don't understand how you can feel that way with a new manager unless you're getting like an Ancelotti or someone like
yeah, someone big, yeah,
really proven, because it's just you don't know. I don't know. I can't sit there and say Lopetegui is going to be great. I can't say he's going to be terrible. I'm relieved Moyes ball's over, but I don't know. Lopetegui ball, we'll have to see. Some people say that he plays good football. Sometimes he's been pragmatic. We're signing, players that can play. We're signing exciting players. So I'm feeling we're
Mhm.
going to play attacking football. We're making our
Yeah,
moves done. We signed the young Brazilian wonder kid. We've signed Kilman. Apparently, we're signing Duran from Villa, which is an injury, very exciting prospect, but got a bit of attitude problems, apparently.
yeah,
There's Carl Walker Peters at right back, we're looking at. So we're making moves
mm,
early. That's exciting. So I'm just looking forward to seeing that. And then we need to see what happens with Paqueta and his situation, if we can keep him. Um, then if he can avoid the ban, I mean, not keep him, but if we can keep him out of
yeah,
jail or banned suspension. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, it's so many possibilities. I'm just waiting and seeing. I'm trying not to like lose my head at transfer
yeah,
rumors. Just like, let's wait and see. I'll give you a chance. Whoever you want to
yeah,
sign, like even if I don't rate that player, okay, let's give you a chance.
yeah.
That's my
It's so hard as well when you kind of go through a different process with a new manager. It's a risk. It's exciting, but like you said, it's scary. It could be worse. It could get better. I mean, it's hard. I think for Arsenal, whoever Arteta brings in, I have faith it'll be good because there's so much proof that the players he's brought in have been good. But I suppose in your situation, because it's new, it's kind of not known if it'll work out. But for you, with the league next season, would you say your aim is trying to get Europe, Conference League, what would you say regarding the league you'd like to kind of achieve in
yeah.
the position?
Okay, yeah. I mean, so what I would like to achieve versus what my expectations are different, right? So yeah, I would
Yeah.
like to get back in Europe, but I've said this a few times in terms of what I look at the manager and what my expectations for him in his first season would be: not be in a relegation battle, play better football, and bring through youngsters. That's my minimum. That's like if you do
Mm,
that, I'm happy, right? If you have a lower league position, I want to see progress. It's your first season. We've got a massive rebuild. Like we have one of the oldest squads in the league, which he's addressing with bringing some young talent. So first season, you don't have to pull up trees. You don't have to, get us top four, top six, top seven, all of that stuff.
mm.
Just let us see some progress. We've not seen hardly any young players come through. They've been leaving because they've been getting a chance. We're not seeing good football. So I want to
Yeah.
start seeing that.
Yeah, definitely. I think in the league you've just got to, try and maintain, I think if you got Europe or Conference League, I think that would be a good season considering, you're going through a new process with a new manager. So I think it's an exciting time as well. Big up Ravi, big up guys, smash the like button and subscribe. Big up yourself. If you guys are still watching this, do smash the like button, do subscribe as well. Yusuf said, I can't wait for the race for Europe on Pot's channel. Lawless and United, Dan on Billy AFCV is always hilarious to watch. Pick up yourself. Um, Here's a good question for you. Are you Lawless? Are you going to finish above Palace? Do you want to know?
Of course. Listen, we finished above Palace like this season. I think we'll finish above Palace. I think that a lot of their players are jumping ship. We're seeing, I think we've seen Eze linked with. It's either Eze or Gahey linked with Arsenal. Obviously, Elise
Yeah.
is going. So Eze and Gahey will probably go as well. So yeah, listen, I'm confident. I'm confident.
Yeah, I think he will. I think Palace have done a lot. They've improved quite a lot, but I think with losing a few players, I think Eze is pretty much linked to us, so I think that will happen. Hopefully, I'd love to have him. But I just wanted to read this question. Thoughts on why Bowen isn't how quality is not getting a sniff over Harry Kane when Southgate knows how he's being bad. I mean, we've said this before about Bowen. I mean, about Kane, about anyone could probably do more than what he's doing. But yeah, he's not really had much of a chance. I think Ivan Toney's had a little bit of a shot, but we've not really seen much of Bowen. What do you make of that comment?
Yeah, and I look at it is Bowen, he's best on the right. He is best on the
Mm,
right, but he has done a job for us up front before. He's had to do it quite a lot. We had no striker, so a good portion of last season it's flat front. I think he would be much more um, effective up front than Kane.
yeah,
The energy that he has, the runs, the work rate, his shooting ability.
yeah.
I think he would be much more effective up front than Kane, but he'll never get that opportunity. And it's a shame because I think he's a quality player. I've seen him linked with a move to Newcastle,
Mm.
which isn't going to happen. They can dream on. But yeah, he's a quality player. So I would love to see more of him in England shirt.
Yeah, I think it would be really nice to see a few other players get a shout, but I think at the moment anyone could do a bit more than Kane, so it wouldn't be a bad shout to give him a chance. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you, Dan, for coming on my channel today. It's been really lovely to have you on, chat a bit about England, about West Ham. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
No, thanks for having me. I'm glad we could finally do this. So yeah, hopefully I'll be back on
Yeah,
again
definitely.
one day. But yeah, no, all the best for the channel. Love what you do. Good to see a lot of your other interviews. Before with Robbie and obviously the great Kevin Campbell and some other videos that you've done. So yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Love it and keep smashing it.
Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll definitely do something definitely throughout the season when we play each other. It'd be amazing to do that. And yeah, also a big thank you to all of you that have commented, watched this live. I hope you have enjoyed it. To those that will watch this back as well, I hope you have enjoyed this as well. If you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this, please do like as well. And yeah, fingers crossed England can get the win, get to that final. Honestly, I'm not bothered whoever we play. I feel like we'll be okay. But yeah, big up to everyone. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.